Welcome, friend. It's time to rest now. Let your heart slow down, let your thoughts settle, and listen to a little story: the power of confession. Micah Thomas wasn't a bad man. At least, that's what he told himself, especially when he smiled politely at church every Sunday, shook the pastor's hand, and helped stack the chairs after service. He tithed, he volunteered now and then, and he even had a Bible app on his phone that pinged him daily with daily verses he hardly read. But when the door closed at night and the world felt silent, there was a different noise in his soul, a whisper, not the kind that comes from people, but the kind that echoes in your chest when you're lying in bed at night, eyes open in the dark. Not loud, not violent, just steady. This whisper would come from time to time. Micah had a very close friend. His name was Jordan. They were very close and knew a lot about each other and spent most of their free time together. One day, Micah and Jordan were standing by the coffee machine at work when Jordan said, "Hey man, I can't believe it. Something amazing happened. I got the promotion in the company." He said it humbly, even kindly. And Micah smiled and said, "Wow, that's incredible. I am so happy for you. You deserve it." Although Micah meant what he said, something in his stomach twisted. Later that evening, Micah went to his room, locked the door, and lay on his bed in silence. He felt a heavy depression settle in. Jordan had graduated and had gotten a job immediately. Within 2 years, he had already climbed the career ladder. Meanwhile, Micah had spent 3 years after graduation unemployed, sending out resumes, hearing nothing back, watching his savings disappear. Then suddenly, Micah heard the whisper, "You are jealous of your friend's promotion." Micah didn't answer the whisper. He just stared at the ceiling and scrolled through Jordan's Instagram page again. Then he closed his phone, bitter and heavy. The thing is, it wasn't just Jordan. It was everyone. A church friend, Daniel, had recently started his own photography business and was already booking weddings. Micah looked at the announcement on Instagram, heart sinking. He wasn't even interested in photography, but still, he envied the clarity, the momentum, the purpose. That night, he made a long list of goals for himself, not out of inspiration, but out of shame. He didn't pray, he just wrote the list, slammed his notebook shut, and muttered, "I have to catch up." One evening, while scrolling on Instagram, Micah saw a photo of Leah, his ex-girlfriend, standing in a beautiful white dress, holding hands with her new husband. Micah clicked like on the post and even typed, "Wishing you both joy and love." But his hands were cold, his jaw was tight. He shut the laptop hard, got up, and angrily vacuumed the living room just to distract himself. A part of him whispered, "She moved on. Why haven't you?" Followed by another whisper, "You pretended to be happy for her, but you weren't." Micah just went on, angrily vacuuming his living room. The following week, at lunchtime, Micah sat with Carter and two other co-workers. They were joking about a guy called Sam. Sam is a guy who works in the company. He is known for his too perfect life and also for his rudeness. That day, they were teasing his too perfect life and his God-blessed heart. Micah laughed along. Then he added, "Well, his wife's family did give them the down payment for the house. Doesn't hurt to have money behind you." They all chuckled. Micah sipped his coffee, but the taste was bitter. That night, the whisper came back. "Why did you make those comments about Sam? You shouldn't have. Yes, he isn't nice, and is very rude. But still, you are a Christian, and you have to follow Christ's example." To which Micah replied, "I didn't say anything negative about him. I only laughed at what the others had said. They didn't say anything evil. They only mentioned some facts, and I added something. I only said, well, his wife's family did give them the down payment for the house. Doesn't hurt to have someone with money behind you." Which isn't wrong, because it's the truth, and everyone knows it. When he had finished explaining himself, he turned to Netflix and chilled, though with a heavy heart, because something within him felt wrong. 2 days later, while on his way to work, Micah's Bible app pinged at 9 a.m. with the verse of the day. Micah swiped it away again. Micah used to start each day with quiet time, but now he rolled out of bed, grabbed his phone, and let the day rush at him before God ever got a word in. It wasn't just a day. It had been weeks, and every time he told himself he was tired and he would read it later, but he never did. The whispers Micah heard weren't cruel, they weren't loud, but they were relentless. He began to feel two-faced, one version of him for others, another hidden within. It wasn't that he didn't believe in God, he did, but something had hardened, and he didn't know how to soften it. One evening, as rain tapped gently on his window, Micah sat at his desk and stared at his reflection in the darkened screen of his laptop. His face looked tired. He looked hollow. And then, without emotion, without any grand moment, he whispered out loud, "God, I don't like what I'm becoming." Silence. So he kept talking, a confession, not the kind where he listed every wrong thing, every petty thought, every prayerless day, but the kind that simply said, "Here I am. This is the mess. I am the mess." Micah cried. They do say men don't cry, but Micah did that day. Because within him, he knew he loved God and wanted to be with him. and at the same time, he knew his actions had been wrong. He knew that although men can't see his heart, God can. He kept on saying, I am a mess. I am a mess. I have tried to stop this jealousy, envy, gossip, but it comes right back. I'm not proud of it. And in that moment, something inside cracked open. A light breeze passed through his soul. Not a storm, just a breeze. He hadn't received an answer, but he felt light. He felt renewed. He felt reborn. The next morning, he opened his Bible, not to make God happy, but because something in him was hungry again. He texted Jordan a real congratulations. He didn't check Leah's profile. He prayed just for 5 minutes. That week, he chose to speak well of someone instead of gossip. It felt small, but also like a seed. Change didn't come overnight. It never does. But it started there, in a quiet confession, in a simple, honest moment of saying, God, I see who I am. I know you know who I am. I know you can change me into who you want me to be. And God, as he always does, met Micah there, not with shame, but with grace. And grace keeps going. Few weeks later, Micah joined the men's group at church and confessed, trembling, that he struggled with comparison and pride. Jordan was there, and to Micah's surprise, Jordan looked at him and said, Same here, brother, you're not alone. And little by little, he began to see it change. Not perfect, not flawless, but real. The next day at work, Micah walked into his break room. He saw Carter, another co-worker, whispering to a small group about how Sam only got their house because his wife's parents had helped. Micah opened his mouth to add something, but he stopped. He took a deep breath and instead said, I don't know, man. Sam works hard. I'm happy for him. The room went quiet for a bit. Carter raised an eyebrow. Micah gave a small smile and walked out. It was awkward, but it was a start. 1 John 1:9 says, If we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us and cleanse us. Cleanse us, not shame us, not expose us, not discard us. Cleanse us. True transformation begins with honesty. When we stop pretending, face our flaws, and confess our struggles to God, he meets us with grace, not condemnation. Change doesn't always happen all at once, but with every small, faithful step, God shapes us into who we were created to be. Confession isn't weakness. It's the first act of courage that leads to real freedom. If this story brought peace to your heart, you are welcome to return again. Sleep well, and may you wake with love and kindness in your spirit. Good night.